Nylon, Nader Gator, Robbie, and Domo coming out for a whole lot of rage. I'm pretty hyped. This should be a great matchup. This should be maybe Team 1 versus Team 2. Obviously, this is just week 1, so who the freak knows? But should be some great matchups, and it seems like a lot of people are predicting a whole lot of rage, but we just saw Micltan take down Stargaze in a 3-0, so I think this one's gonna be quite close, and we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you, Nylon, for the follow, and earlier, thank you, Axel2114 for the follow as well. Looks like teams are just now finishing up picking their team comps, so we should be able to get into game number 1 just a few moments. Whole lot of rage, looking for their second win of the season in this best of 5, and so is Micltan. Whoever wins this is at the top of our league so far. So let's jump into game number 1, Anchovy Tower Control. All right, here we go. Matchup number 1. Micltan going into the yellow, and it's going to be a whole lot of rage here in the purple. And of course, as always, Shane, coming to you, what are you seeing out of these teams? What weapons they bring in that surprise you?
I'm not very surprised by some of these comps, to be honest. I am excited to see how we're going to work with the Ink Brush and Machine. It seems that that's going to be a great combo. Rob's Ink Brush, he's been at it for a very long time, and he really knows how to just sprinkle well. He's already being a nuisance. But with the armor, they just get knocked out easily by that bomb.
Yeah, a little unfortunate just calling that out how great he is, and then he runs into a section bomb. I mean, I'm sure that was just a little oopsie there.
And fumbles happen a lot, so it's understandable, especially with such a fast weapon. You see Fear just, again, giving the pressure that they need to shut down their pushes.
Yeah, I love seeing high-level inkjets coming out here today by these pro teams. It's always fun seeing them, how much better they are at aiming those things than some of those amateur and academy players.
Definitely. There's one thing that I really want to point out. Lock is on the heavy, if anything. I thought, if anything, specifically he'd be on scope, but this is definitely a different turn. This is definitely a different thing. And 2 go down right now on the side of Micltan.
This could be a good chance, but this is a bloody match right now, and Micltan's struggling, but so far not a huge push by the tower from Whole Lot of Rage, so we'll see if they can get some points, though, from it.
This is definitely a slap fight.
Nylon pushing up on this bucket as well, getting some damage done. They're going to get through the checkpoint 1 at least. Stingray out, though, to try to defend and push him off.
He's still alive.
Whole Lot of Rage is still making slow progress, but they might get shut down here.
Yeah, Domo's got to stay alive, trying to use this Jet Squelcher to get some pressure going down. They are still alive, and they are still having this push 4v2. This is not a great sign for Micltan.
Slowly but surely, they are just taking down that timer.
This is a great push by Whole Lot of Rage. They're slowly whittling this push down. They're not even like attacking the tower. They're simply touching it to stall it as far as they can so they can eat up that clock.
Yeah, they were pushing there for almost a minute and a half, and now maybe finally Micltan some room to breathe, but they got to find some picks. If they keep going down, this push is just going to keep going and going.
Here, he needs to get Nylon here. No.
I mean, it's a lot of patience. And we see it's really paying off. They're at 33 already.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Gator all the way out here in the other zone. He is going to go down, so they do spot him out. But that was a little sneaky there. Almost got some stuff done from that angle.
Alexa was like, no.
Just nah.
Not today.
All right, Lex finally going to stop this push. Micltan finally going to get a chance 4v3 on the map to score some points. So far, they are down behind 2 checkpoints. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to really pick up their pace if they want to win this game.
2 minutes left on the clock. They've got time, but they need things to fall in their favor, and that is definitely not what you want. A full wipe from the side of Micltan.
Oh man, yeah, a wipe is definitely not what you want, Cassie, but unfortunately that's gonna be what happens, and it seems like Whole Lot of Rage definitely showing off their skills and putting down Micltan after Micltan just had a great first series of 3 over Stargaze. It's not looking good here, though.
You were talking about it, Shane. Complacency. Maybe this is just a sign. Maybe this is them being a little bit complacent about what they did earlier.
We can see they are trying to hasten things, and we can see from the side of Whole Lotta Rage their patience is what paid off. And that's what Micltan needs to do. They need to have the patience to slowly get their picks and slowly push. Because we saw when Whole Lotta Rage pushed, it felt like the whole time they were being pressured, but they still got a lot of points.
Unfortunately, they just keep falling down. It's just the individual 1v1 skills. It seems like Whole Lotta Rage is just getting the picks they need constantly. And Micltan has not been on this tower pretty much all game long.
Yeah. Can someone explain to me how Nylon got to the top of that snipe over on that left side, you know, next to their base?
Great question. I don't know. We're going to have to check the replay on that one.
You see a lot of chaos going on over by the tower. It's really just a bloodbath right now.
Yeah, trading back and forth. They're gonna stop the push, but there's only 17 seconds left, and this would be one of the miracles of all miracles.
Micltan can't trade anymore. They need to start winning these fights. If they lose a single fight, it's over.
And the problem is, we can see that Whole Lotta Rage is flanking, and we're probably going to see that it could take out one or two of them.
Specials out from both sides, and Cass gonna have to jump off the tower. All they need to do is touch it, and this game is over. They do go down, but Nader's just there to pick it up, and Whole Lotta Rage gonna take that first victory. Feeling pretty good there, as that was a pretty dominating game there from Whole Lotta Rage coming out against Micltan and putting them in their place. Of course, this is a best of 5, so who knows what will happen from here. Nader Gator, though, 10 ink armors and a 15 KA. Can we just safely call him the MVP of that game?
Definitely. I mean, that was a lot of great support that we saw coming out, and it really helped pay off, especially with the stalling. You saw that coordination in their push, it helped them to capitalize off of the disorganization from Micltan, and it really helped them to get those points that they needed, and they just kept going with it. They kept getting those 1v1s they needed, and they kept popping those armors that helped them to win those 1v1s, and they just never gave Micltan the chance that they even needed.
Yeah. And I'll come to you, Cassie, with your thoughts in a second. First of all, though, I just want to say thank you to Nick Knock, who rated our league here with 14 viewers. Much appreciation. And thank you, Emily, Azo Space, and Starry Echo for the follows as well. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you guys checking out our Splatoon 2 action and our Pro Splatoon League. Whole Lotta Rage taking on Micltan right now. And Cassie, give us your thoughts after game 1.
Hey, like, you know that one situation to where you played the game for so long, you feel like you're familiar with everything, but all of a sudden you get tripped up. I feel like a Whole Lotta Rage just kind of like caught Micltan in a lot of really bad situations. There was a couple of times, like you saw positioning, Nylon was up on snipe at one point. And then there was another one where they had the flank all the way up on piston, and nobody was expecting those flanks from those spots, but they just kept going.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like to me that there was a skill gap, at least in game number 1. It's not to say that Micltan can't come back and win a couple games here against Whole Lotta Rage, but I'm getting a little bit worried from them because the individual play, it just seemed like pick after pick was happening to Micltan, and they could not really stay alive that whole time. Every time they tried to get a push, it was one player would go down, and then right after that, another player would go down, and it was a 4v2. So that makes me very nervous. Although, Shane, we are going to Rainmaker on Black Belly. Definitely a game mode where any team can win. How does Micltan pull this back to a 1-1 series?
I think what they really need to do is try and get that advantage as early as possible, because that's really what Rainmaker's about. It's about capitalizing off of the weaknesses, because if you can spot a weakness and exploit it, you can get tons of points. We've seen that in a lot of these Rainmaker games. Like, for example, last week, that one wipe on Whole Lotta Rage led to their knockout. And we saw in the last game, in the last set, that the same thing happened. One misplay, and it leads to the end of the entire game. So they need to try and find the weakness and really exploit that to get a win.
All right, well, we are ready for game number 2. We can see if they are able to pull that off. One thing we did learn from this first matchup, don't push to the left. We'll see what teams do, though, in this game number 2. All right, in the blue, we got Micltan Heroes, and this time, Whole Lotta Rage rocking that green color on Rainmaker. Shane, what are you seeing out of these teams? Similar team comps I'm seeing, but what are the differences here?
Well, I'm seeing that Whole Lotta Rage has a pretty interesting comp. You see they're running in armor, missiles, ray, a lot of these things that are really going to help them. they have their Ink Rush, of course. It's really going to cause a lot of damage. You see, they're already getting the picks they need. I'm really interested to see the ends of that play, because you don't see a lot of 89 play in competitive. It's usually just the 85. And I'm really excited to see how they're going to do with it, because those missiles, it's already helping them to get them disorganized. And we saw the last set, that was Micltan's problem. Those missiles are just compounding their weakness.
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch this team play, because Whole Lotta Rage, they seem to go so fast in getting picks, but they're not super fast with this objective. They really take their time and patience, and you can see it just seems really hard for these other teams to play against this.
The problem that I'm seeing is that like, when you're going up against like a team that's this aggressive, it's very difficult to really push back.
Alright, well, we're going to get a 2v2 stop here. They do get it to 53. That score line probably won't hold, though, here on Rainmaker. But again, Whole Lotta Rage is going to get their team out here first. So we'll see who's able to grab the Rainmaker next.
Fast
We're
with the
seeing a
armor.
lot of rage, still being patient, just like the last game. They're just taking their time, trying to feel out Micltan and then take advantage of the weakness that they spot.
I mean,
You
they're
can tell
just
the difference in map control.
still way up in their base. I mean, Nylon, this is just some dirty work here. He's behind their, he's almost in their spawn right now. That's what it, I mean, this is just crazy.
This looks rough. This looks really rough right now for Micltan. Gator with the Rainmaker. Tries to
Still
get
have
a
a
pick.
Stingray, though.
Doesn't quite get it. Here comes the Ray.
They're pressuring the Ray, though. They can't get this Ray out. Nader just has a free walk.
Nylon and Rob just causing enough chaos to really get the push going. That's what's going to win them this game. If we see it knock out right here. But they get stopped just in time. 3 down on the side of Whole Lotta Rage. But it's a 1v1 right now. This could determine what happens next.
Yeah, Alexa's gotta stay alive. They gotta keep their composure here. Rainmaker is popped. No one picking it up yet. But if they're not careful, Whole Lotta Rage can win this game. They're gonna get the picks, and I think this is gonna at least stop the push for now. It's probably gonna reset unless Robbie pulls off a miracle steal here. But they know where he is.
Rainmaker reset. Here comes the splashdown. Splashdown, takedown. Here, Rob
He's
going
3
into the
down on
flank again.
Micltan. That's a problem.
It's just Lex left. Oh wow, 2 go down on this side of Whole Lotta Rage though. Gator with the Rainmaker. Ray still not active right now on Whole Lotta Rage. Here comes the Ray from Micltan.
Ray, yep, it's gonna kill the Rainmaker. That's gonna give them a chance here, but again, they're just fighting in their base. They're fighting in their side. I mean, look how much map control that Whole Lotta Rage has had this whole time. I mean, the whole map is almost green. It's just insane at times how much paint and control they can get.
And I don't know if you noticed, but you see that their instep on the side of Whole Lotta Rage has already popped off 6 missiles. That's really giving them what they need for Nylon and Rob to get the kills. It's really just tearing apart Micltan. It's making them have to spread out, and then Nylon and Rob just capitalize off of it.
It's not even just giving them damage, it's also giving them location.
Yeah.
Making it very difficult for any of them to really get away.
See, people often underestimate the power that missiles and sensors can have in finding location, but that can really enable a lot of kills and a lot of 1v1s.
Gator trying to go for this flank. Doesn't really get anything out of it, but like at the same time, he's in the enemy position. That's very. He's not really guaranteed that much resistance. And Rob with the Rainmaker, 1 down right now on the side of Whole Lotta Rage. 2 down now on the side of Whole Lotta Rage. Here comes the Ray. That's going to probably take out Rob.
All right, one more
This
chance.
is what Micltan need.
Here we go. They're getting their wipe. They have one more chance. Their first time they're actually going to score points here. Cass manning this Rainmaker. Can they get a win out of nowhere? This would be quite incredible if they could actually pull this off.
It's going to take everything they have to make it.
Definitely. Literally, that's the first time they've picked up the Rainmaker within 5 minutes and 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, no specials on their side, although, and Cass is all by themselves, missiles out, and it just feels so
3 down
difficult.
on Micltan, that's going to be hard for them. And just like that, like,
Yeah.
That's the game. GG's. Whole Lotta Rage going to get a second dominating win against Micltan. And it just feels like this series is probably going to be a 3-0 unless something really can change for Micltan. But Whole Lotta Rage right now, so far, up 2-0. Both wins looking pretty dang dominant. And as you said, Shane, They are just using their specials to perfection. You can see 3 armors, 7 rays, and 9 missiles coming out of them, and an 18 KA again for Nylon. I mean, this just looks so hard for Micltan. Shane, how do they get back into the series after 2 rough wins there? Or
I think the most important thing they need to do right now is just find the weakness. That's what you need to do. Because at this level of play, there's not just going to be some moment where you can get the kills without having to have some strategy behind it. At this point, they need to find the weakness, because you see they're not winning a lot of their 1v1s or their 2v2s. They have to find what they can do to exploit weaknesses right now. And I feel like the main thing that they need to do is crush their teamwork. Because you saw in that last game, there was not really an MVP from Whole Lotta Rage. Everyone on their team was doing their part to really help each other and strengthen each other. And that's one beautiful thing about this level of play. It's not just one person carrying an entire team. It's everyone working together and making everyone stronger. So they need to try and crush that teamwork, whether it's by winning one of their 1v1s. That could be hard, especially considering the skill gap. What they could do is they could try and find some specials that disintegrate Whole Lotta Rage, or they could find some other strategy, like maybe they could pair together to try and take them out one by one. It's going to take some unique strategy that's going to disintegrate Whole Lotta Rage, and then they need to accelerate that.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think the individual skill level is quite not matching up. Can they find those 2v1s? Can they find those mismatched situations? And then how do you shut down Nylon, Cassie, who has just been popping off? I mean, I think between the 2 games, probably already over 30 KA.
You need to take away that map control. If you take away the map control that Whole Lotta Rage has, you get rid of a lot of the movement and a lot of the area that he basically has to chew on. One of the things that Buckets really thrive on is being able to, when they have that map control, when they have that specific amount of paint, just like all theirs, they can come from any angle. They don't have to worry about where they're coming from because they can come from anywhere.
Yeah. Well, definitely Nylon is using that to their advantage to get those kills, to shark around, to put up pressure. And we've seen both games, Nylon just inside of Micltan's base, almost near their spawn. We'll see if they can finally have an answer to shut that down. Maybe if they do, they'll pick up a game here and force us to a game 4. If not, Whole Lotta Rage just going to shut this one out quickly to a 3-0. Teams are ready, so we'll see what happens now on Clan Blitz Inkblot Art Academy.
I feel like this is make or break for Micltan. If they gotta do something here.
All right, Micltan's going to be in the purple and Whole Lotta Rage here in the green.
A double carbon.
What is that?
That's going to be hard to deal with. Junior double carbon. That paint. That's going to be the make or break deal here.
All right, so for those of us who are not pros like you guys, is this a troll comp or is this for real?
This is kind of a mix of both, to be honest. I mean, it can work. They clearly thought this out in their minute and a half to prepare. It's not necessarily memeing, but it's definitely like one of those more annoying comps to deal with.
All right, well, there are.
It's not something that you normally would like see meta level, but it's definitely something that you could see the higher skill teams doing. It's kind of like basically the way that JP plays, where they just find a comp, they find a win condition, and they push through.
Well, if they are going to score, then there's not going to be any extra clamps to go in, so that's at least a good stop by Micltan.
Here comes the carbon. Domo gets the pick. Oh.
Man, this is just some dirty play coming out of a Whole Lotta Rage. This is.
What do you do about this map control? Like, what do you do?
Holy cow. I mean, this is just insane to watch Whole Lotta Rage putting on a show. A little bit of the meme, but a little bit just like they're just dominating with the speed on these weapons, the paint. Oh, this is beautiful to watch.
You gotta understand, if you take full control of that midsection, you have full game. Like, that ledge is free. There is nothing they can do.
Yeah, you see Micltan struggling to find an answer. They had 2 power clams. Both of them going to crash down. Nothing out of that. And then Nader just, again, look at how many clams he's able to collect and feed to his team.
Now, right now, Micltan needs to realize that Whole Lot of Rage's weakness right now, more than ever, is complacency. They're running a comp that I can pretty much bet they don't normally run. Or they run when they feel very confident. You realize this is the moment they can take advantage of that. You see, they're just having trouble organizing and getting the kills they need. They already get back to the barrier.
All right, well, finally I'm seeing some purple on the map, though. Micltan 4v2. This is a chance definitely for them to score. Can they get this back, though? They're down already almost by 60 points.
All right, here comes the armor. Cast does not win this 1v1. And Rob might win this other one, too. Gonna go back with Gator.
Oh my
This just
goodness.
looks
Carbon
so
just
rough.
causing too much damage.
This just looks so rough.
He just looks like he's 3 times faster than any other player, and I know that's not possible, but his movement is just insane. And again, they're gonna open up the barrier. This could be a KO right here, even.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta find
That's
a couple
the
more.
real big advantage of this comp is being able to get curve and being able to collect clams really quickly.
Nader, if he can get there in time, maybe has a chance. He's seconds away from this basket closing. It doesn't look like he wants to KO here. I think he could have had a chance if he went for the basket, maybe.
You see the 3 down with Water Rage now. This is their chance.
Yeah. This is definitely their chance.
Even if they score here, though, they got to get another big score after this.
See, Micltan realized this is their only chance. They're already going for it, and very fast.
And Locke is coming behind with some more. If Lex can get a kill, no. Domo's going to get it, though. Locke's still shooting some in. This is at least going to bring it close and give him one more chance with a minute left. Oh, it looks so hard, though, because now a Whole Lot of Rage is going to have all the control coming back the other way.
Yeah, and they also got that pity.
You see, all these games, the map control is what's ending it for Micltan. They have all the paint they need for their Slayers to really thrive, and that's what's happening here. The Carbon is just causing a lot of damage with all the paint from their 2 juniors.
Alright, well, they're in a 4v3, so if they can get one more pick, maybe, then they have a chance. They do so. They can take out the juniors now 4v2, and they're going to have a chance to score. This is looking a little closer than it did at first, at least.
Definitely. That's a good pick here. Taking out one of the juniors. Takes out Nylon, takes out Domo. 2 down. This could be the start of something. Cast with the armor. Here we go. They have to win this 1v1.
Could cut them down. They're trying to find the kill.
They're just such a nuisance to deal with. Micltan, 21 clams. Can they actually score, though? Cass has just been dancing back and forth.
Lex goes down. No!
The flanks, again, just taking advantage of their lack of organization. Those just small points. You can see they're organized for most of the game. Then there's the 1 second where they're spread out, and they take advantage of that.
Well, it was somewhat close in the middle there, but a Whole Lot of Rage going to take the 3-0 series there. A little rough for Micltan. They do get this one within 15 points, but of course that doesn't matter if you still take the loss there. And man, oh man, Whole Lot of Rage. 13 KO from Domo, 10 from Robbie, and they seem to be dominating. Cassie, seemed like you wanted to say something there. What was your thought there?
If I want to really point out something specifically, one of the big advantages that having a bamboo is being able to have that kill power, being able to have that pressure, you know, whenever you specifically need, whenever you shoot, one target's really weak and it makes it very easy to 2v1 or 1v1. If you're fighting a comp that fast and you're fighting 2 Carbon and 2 juniors, weapons that are known for just squirming around all over the place, it is almost impossible to hit your shots. You're almost neutered.
Almost neutered. Interesting way to say it, but I get the visual there. I love the analogy. Shane, what were your thoughts there, seeing a Whole Lot of Rage taking on Micltan and getting that 3-0?
I think it was really interesting to see how they could capitalize so well off of small weaknesses. And even with such an unorthodox comp, they seemed to know what they were doing. You saw that they were really just taking advantage of those small moments. When the junior was by themselves, they took them out. They took out more ones. It just, the 1v1s was the key moment. And with what they needed for those 1v1s was the map control. And to get the map control and kills, they needed the anchor. It all came together and it really paid off here.
Yeah, impressive victory there by a whole lot of rage. Already some of us saying that they are the top team of the Pro League. Who knows if that's true, but they are starting off 2-0 already, taking down Micltan, and last week taking down Squidding Good. Zach, are you there to give us the prediction report?
Yes, whole bunch of angry was the very decisive victor here. 93% to 7 from Micltan Heroes there. This was pretty much had a hard time overcoming the odds here from our good old microphone heroes.
Yeah, well, impressive stuff, guys. And it looks like we're going to have some time because it looks like Friends is not going to make it today unless they have a sub. Let me just double check. So we might move on from Whole Lotta Rage versus Friends and then hitting up our next series, Jackpot versus Squid and Good, here in a few. But I want to hear from you, Cassie. You saw Micltan have a 3-0 going to their way, and then you saw an 0-3 here today against Whole Lotta Rage. So which is it? Is Micltan great or is Micltan not great? I don't know. What are you thinking about them?
I'm thinking specifically in this situation because they've done the same thing in Midway Inc. Tour. They would have these amazing games to where they would beat out amazing teams like Temptation or Bad or one of those some of those higher known teams. But then they would have some days to where they just wouldn't be able to not even get close to those teams. I feel like this is just going to be one of those days to where they're going to have to, like, for the Stargaze, you did well, you got the 3-0,